pastoral outreach. Like today, we're giving a talk. We give books to people to help them to come closer to the church. Is that considered missionary work? What do you think?
I think so. I mean, any act of trying to bring people closer to Orthodox faith, and especially like for us as a judge, I think it's just in our way our act of missionary work, because you're taking it upon yourself to go against the Mormons.
Any other?
Well, yeah, if you look at missionary in the historical sense of the word, it's like you're branching out to try to spread your belief.
Okay.
And
that can be amongst our Orthodox brothers,
yeah,
who might not be close to the church.
Yeah, or people who have even lost the faith.
All right. Any other understanding of the word mission and missionary? So, can we say then that the term missionary implies also to somebody who does work amongst Orthodox Christians, rather than just, say, going to a foreign country, coming across a new culture, learning a new language, and exposing people that haven't been exposed to the truth? Okay. In this talk, we're going to discuss about both views of what is seen to be a missionary. The traditional biblical interpretation of being a missionary is when one goes, crosses geographic boundaries, cultural boundaries, and preaches the faith, evangelizes the gospel to someone who has never been exposed to the truth. Saint Innocent of Moscow, Saint Nicholas of Japan, they went to places where they had to learn the language of the people, they had to learn the culture of the people, and they had to preach the gospel to people who had not heard the gospel before. Saint Innocent, if we look at his life, he was born in 1797, and as a 6-year-old boy in the Irkutsk province in Russia, and 6 years old he was an orphan, and after a few years he entered the seminary in Irkutsk and studied there for quite a few years. He studied theology, rhetorics, philology, and various sciences. At 21 years old, he was ordained deacon, and after a few years, he was ordained into the priesthood. When in 1823, he requested permission to go to the Aleutian Islands to do missionary work amongst the native people. He had married by then. He took his wife Catherine and traveled for 1 year and arrived at the Aleutian Islands in 1824 and began his missionary work. From 1824, we're not going to go into the details of the life because we'll have to speak for an hour or two about that. From 1824 to 1868, St. Innocent devoted his life in preaching the gospel to the local people. In doing that, he was faced with various challenges. He had to learn what?
Aleutian.
He had to learn the local dialect, the Aleutian being the main dialect. He had to learn the culture of the native people, the way of thinking, the way they did things. All this he had to make it part of his missionary work. In order to bring somebody to Christ, in order to approach somebody, we need to be able to relate to the person and understand their thinking. Having received a well-grounded education in theology, in languages, he used these tools to be able to transmit the gospel to the local people in a way that they could understand and in a way that they could accept the truth of the gospel.